Internet is the gateway to the world and essential to excellence in education, but not accessible to every child. And that is why Comcast and the APS Foundation are partnering to bring Internet access to low-income families. I want to welcome Chris Dunkeson from Comcast. So happy to have you back, Chris.
Thank you for having us on.
You guys are so great with everything you do. And today you've brought along Phil Casaus, who is the Executive Director of the APS Foundation. So happy to have you with us today as well.
Thanks very much. I'm glad to be here.
It's a wonderful thing you're offering. So, Chris, you know, Comcast obviously has a tremendous community outreach program. We talk a lot about the things that you do for the community that people aren't even aware of. So talk about this particular project that you guys are working on.
Thanks. This is really a neat initiative that we're working on. It's called Internet Essentials.
Okay.
And what it is it provides low-cost Internet access to families whose kids qualify for the National Free Lunch Program. So for $9.95 a month, you get high-speed Internet access.
For how much?
$9.95.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So how many families do you think will take advantage of this offer?
I don't know what that'll look like. That's why we're here trying to get the word out.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are going to be so happy to hear this because now, you know, you find, I would imagine, Phil, that in schools now there's so many assignments that require internet when they go home, and it's embarrassing and it's unfair that some kids don't have the opportunity to go home and do their homework the way other kids will have.
It's true. There's a lot of kids in the district who don't have the access to internet, who don't have computers in their homes, and so if you have that chance to be able to use it at home,
sure,
it just puts you that much farther ahead at school. APS has great internet services now that we've got all sorts of technology that kids can use.
Oh, good.
But when you leave at 3 o'clock, you want to keep using that kind of potential, and some kids aren't able to do that.
Well, Phil, tell us a little bit about the APS Foundation for those who don't know.
Well, the APS Foundation is a nonprofit. We work to accentuate the learning potential of students, 91,000 students in Albuquerque Public Schools. It's we depend on the community for that kind of help, and Comcast is one of the great partners we have. They've done great stuff for us in the past. They have offered $100,000 worth of advertising for events that we do and things the district is interested in, and this is one of those ways that we can really partner together to really benefit, I think, a lot of kids, and Chris and his team have been fabulous to us.
They're very generous, really. I mean, that's so wonderful that you do that. Tell me a little bit how the program kind of involves each other, how you guys work together. How does that actually practically work?
Well, what we're doing is we're offering the low-cost internet access. We're also offering the ability to get a computer for $149.
Ooh.
And then we're working with partners like Phil and the Foundation to get the word out to make sure that people know about it, because we want people to take advantage of this opportunity.
No, I think that's great. The first step, obviously, with anything is bringing awareness to the subject. And so I want to understand how the students will actually get their internet training.
Yeah, well, much like the partnership with the Foundation, we also have partnerships with the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce and YDI. So it'll be the opportunity for not only the students, but their families to go down, get internet training real time, and as they learn more, then that training will move to an online version to where they can utilize the products.
I love hearing this. I mean, don't you feel like this is going to alleviate a lot of stress for a lot of parents, Phil?
There's no question about it. When you see what when parents see what their kids are asked to do in schools, and what we're asking kids to do in schools is far different from when Chris and I went to school back in the Peloponnesian Wars era. I'm telling you that I've got kids in Albuquerque Public Schools. They're asked to do things that I couldn't even imagine, and the internet is essential in that. When they come home, they need to learn. They need to continue to learn at home, because learning is a 24/7 option.
Sure,
it's really not an option. It's a mandate.
And you said $149 for a computer?
Yep, $149 to get a computer and $10 a month.
Well, I also want to mention that the Foundation actually has an event that's coming up in September, right, Phil? So let's talk a little bit about it. It's actually called A for Art.
A is for Art.
Yes, so tell us about that.
A is for Art is a great event. We started it last year. What it is, in essence, is an auction of APS student art. The students at Albuquerque Public Schools and our high schools, we take the best art that they produce. We ask them if they're willing to sell it. We give them 40% of the proceeds from the sale. The rest goes to APS Fine Arts and the Foundation. Last year was our first event. It was one of the great things I've ever been part of. Comcast was key in that as well. We had children sell stuff anywhere from $150 to $5,200.
Oh my gosh.
And we had partners from throughout the community. It's a great event. Yeah. And what we try to, the real key is, of course, fundraising is key.
Sure.
But what I'm really proud of is it lets kids in APS know you don't necessarily have to wear a number on your jersey.
Right.
Or you don't always have to be #1 in class to be a star in Albuquerque Public Schools.
Very good point. And I also want to go back to the whole thing we were talking about before, which is just being able to be considered for getting this opportunity. What do people need to do to qualify?
They can go online and look under Internet Essentials. They can give us a call at 1-800-COMCAST and we'll give them details. And all you need to do is be qualified for the National School Lunch Program, not be a current customer.
Really? That's it?
That's it.
That is not difficult, and I think a lot of people are going to take advantage and really appreciate the generosity that Comcast has shown. So thank you so much, Chris and Phil. Obviously, amazing foundation and so worthwhile to get involved and do what you need to do to be able to support the kids, because they're the future. It sounds cliche, but it's the truth.
They're great.
Absolutely the truth.
Absolutely. So, thank you both so much for being here, and thank you again for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Glad you brought the awareness. And don't go away, because Bread Hills is rolling sushi.